Now let's see how to find the intercepts from a graph. In order to find intercepts, we first need to know what is the intercept. There are two different types of intercepts, x-intercepts and y-intercepts. So graph crosses x-axis, okay, they're called x-intercepts, like this one, this point, and this point. And the graph crosses y-axis is called a y-intercept, like this one. Okay, so we have x-intercepts, y-intercepts. Very easy to understand just by their name. Graph intercept with x-axis or y-axis. They both called intercepts. So now let's try an example. Given you this graph, are you able to identify all the intercepts? So we're looking for the graph crosses x-axis and y-axis, right? So we have, this is a one x-intercept, two x-intercepts, the third x-intercept. Okay, so we have three x-intercepts, and also we have three y-intercepts. This is one of the y-intercepts, second, third. Okay, so from graph, it's very easy to identify x and y-intercepts. What about find intercepts from the equation? The procedure finding intercept from equation is two steps. To find the x-intercepts, you need to let the y-coordinates be 0, and then plug in y equal to 0 into the equation, and then solve for the x. Okay, and then if you get a real number solution, and then x is the x-intercepts. In order to find the y-intercepts, you need to plug in x equal to 0 into the given equation and then solve for the y. Okay, so that's the steps how to find x and y-intercepts. So now let's try some example. Find the x-intercepts and y-intercepts of the graph of y equals x squared minus 4, then graph it by plotting points. So now let's find the x-intercept first. Okay, let's do one by one. Find the x-intercept first. So we don't know is 1 or 2. Okay, we can just put like that. So based on the procedure, find the x-intercept, we need to let y-coordinates be 0, right? So plug in y by 0 into the given equation. So we have 0 equals x squared minus 4. So we got a quadratic equation. How to solve a quadratic equation we already learned in chapter 1. Okay, so for this particular one, you can using different method to solve. If you want to use square root method, you add a 4 on both sides of equation, and then you got x squared equals 4. And then square root method, we solve x equals plus minus 2. Don't left out the negative roots, okay? If you want to use a factoring method, you can do that also. X squared minus 4 equal to 0. You can factor this as x plus 2 times x minus 2 equals 0. And then we can easily solve x equals positive 2 or x equals negative 2. Okay, either way, you should get the same answer. So that's how to find the x-intercept. Okay, let the y-coordinates be 0, plug in to the given equation, and then solve for the x. That's the process. And then similarly, let's find the y-intercept. Find the y-intercept, we need to let the x-coordinates be 0 this time. Okay, so y equals, plug in x by 0, 0 squared minus 4, which is equals negative 4. Okay, so if the problem asks you to write x-y-intercept into point format, and then how to write a y-intercept, that's 0, negative 4, right? X coordinates is 0, y coordinates is 4. and then write x-intercept into point format. That will be positive 2, 0, and then negative 2, 0. Okay? Remember, we got a 2 x-intercept. Okay? And all the intercepts must have at least one coordinates be 0, right? And then graph. Let's look at the next slide, the better book graph. So we can choose some of the points for x. Okay, for example, -3, -1. Okay, let x be -3, x1, and then +1, +3. And then -3 squared, that's +9, 9 minus 4, we got a y equals 5. So when x equals -3, we also got a y equals 5. When x equals -1, 1 squared is +1, +1 minus 4, we got a -3. And the same when x equals +1, y also equals -3. So we plot the points. Okay, use smooth curve connect the points, and then you can verify the intercepts. Okay, x-intercepts, right? -2, 0, +2, 0, and a y-intercept 0, -4.